Have you ever asked yourself, what would a less stress life look like? Just a little bit less stressful? Well, that's something I don't have the perfect answer to, but we're going to explore it a little more in depth. But first, we're going to take a deep breath, and I will see you on the other side. So the first thing I want to say about stress itself is I think it's really different for men and women. And obviously, I understand the feminine, the women's side, much more than I do the masculine side. And so stress is something that's real for both of us. We both cope differently when we have stress. But in this video, I just want to go over some of the things that we tell ourselves as a way to maybe look at stress in a new way. And the most important thing, and none of this is going to be new, it's just a reminder of ideas, because I think the hardest part and what's most stressful isn't learning information, it's actually putting that information into action. That the stress really comes around everything that we're not getting done versus what we do get done, because it just feels really good to accomplish a task, to be able to cross it off your to-do list. And well, traditional advice will say, well, just make a to-do list. Pick 3 things and just cross them off your list and you will have less stress. I just don't think it's that simple. And it's a different process at a different stage in your life. You know, what's stressful for us when we're young isn't the same as what's stressful when we're parents. And it's not the same as we move into the aging process. And the biggest thing that happens as you get older is that you don't handle stress as well. So your life, it could be very simple, but you still feel really stressed out. And so the majority of advice around stress is to just change your thinking, to manage your perceptions around what is stressful. But I'm going to toss something else out that is not for everybody, but it's something to look at. And that's really why I talk about this human design, is how were we designed to live? And the bottom line is that our stress is real. Our stress is good for us. Our stress makes us strong. And the problem isn't acute stress. The problem is chronic stress. That's when we can't turn that stress response off, when we don't let ourselves off the hook. And there are periods in our life where we can't. You know, if there's an illness, if there's a financial situation, you cannot let yourself off the stress hook. We begin to run on those energy and those fumes. But as humans, we weren't designed to live there. Our immune system response, our stress response, is designed to peak at about 30 minutes, enough time to run away from the tiger, and then it crashes down to baseline after about an hour. So everything in our body is designed for a rapid stress response to deal with fear, to deal with anger, to deal with danger. What happens is sometimes we freeze, that's the third stress response, and we get stuck in the stress. So how do we unlock that freeze response? Well, one of the things that happens if you haven't, and it happened a long time ago, that's what PTSD is it gets locked in your body. It really becomes a physical discharge process as opposed to just a mental thinking process. When that energy is locked in, it's not just change your thinking and you magically have a stress-free life. And the world right now is extremely stressful, and aging is stressful, and having children is stressful, and trying to go out into the world as a brand new human is stressful. We live in a very, very stressful life. But what I try to do with you and with myself, and that's really what this one-woman restoration process is for me this year, and what I'm inviting for you to look at in your own life, isn't to just, go minimalist, go nomad, make a to-do list. None of this just normal stuff that people tell you. But I'm really inviting you to take a hardcore, deep dive look at you, at your life. And here's the shift I'm trying to make, and it's stressful, is how do I support my life? How do I get my health? How do I get my home? How do I get my community to support me in my life so it's not constantly stressed, as opposed to just how do I think about it differently? How do I build those systems and structures into my life, into my daily routine, into what stage of age I'm at, because we have different priorities, that I can support the overall life that I want, which is one that is way less stressful. So, you know, the irony is doing that is often more stressful than just living as the way things are. But most good things don't come to us just when they're simple and easy and handed on a platter, right? The best things in life come for the things that we work the hardest for. And so sometimes to get rid of a stressful life, we actually need more stress in order to kind of jump that, you know, gap, get over the hump. But the reality is that the world is really stressful right now, and it has to be a hardcore conscious decision that says, I don't want to get swept away in all the stress of my life and the world. I want to bring that control back as best I can. And the two most important things are the things that we hear in that serenity prayer is, what do we have control over? What do we not have control over? So what can we manage? What can we let go of? And how can we make peace with what is left? So I just invite you to think a little bit about that. For those of you who are members over at 18 Crossroad, we're taking a deep dive into stress in the month of February. And with that, if you want to know more, links are below. But I'm going to take a deep breath because deep breathing is good for stress. And see you next time.